Hey guys, welcome back to Outpost Bravo. Just gonna keep carrying on with the base production. We last gun we finished all the hub upgrades, so now we're up to milestones. Tier 1 and 2, get base building happening. Power's out, sort out the power. Just gonna throw down a few burners. I'm down at the back here because I want to automate biofuel. Oh, so I notice if you press 1, like if you get your power pole out, you can put it down, then you gotta run a cable from this one to that one. I find it easy to just get my power line out, I click on the power pole, and then it'll put one down for me. The only thing it doesn't bring up when you do that is the outline of the building. So if you wanted to put it on the corner of the building, then you can't really tell. But if you use a power pole first, you can put it on the corner of the building. Then it'll come up. So we'll just do leaves and wood. Set up a little factory for that. Haven't done. Again, I'm putting on the hotbar, just that I use commonly. I'll go with the storage containers for wood and leaves, and then we'll run them in a belt straight into constructors, making biomass, and then eventually solid fuel. So to just keep running power. It's too much draw. So I'm just gonna grab some leaves. I don't have a chainsaw yet. I think if I run down in this valley over here, there's all the sticks as well, all wood. Here we go. Picking up all the sticks off the ground is just super handy. Oof. One's flying off the cliff there. Run away. And making biomass is just a pain. As soon as I can put that into like automate that, I just put the leaves straight in a container, the wood straight in a container, goes in a constructor, easy. Try and get some more of that wood. Wood's always best to make in biomass, or just putting straight in there, it burns a bit longer. That's why the chainsaw is really handy. As soon as you unlock that, grab the chainsaw. Really want to just get stuff automated. Start building the base. probably chuck a sink down, especially with those sulfur nodes there, and the quartz nodes as well that are in the base. You just sink all that, get the points, shop. Oh, let's head back. The thing with the game is when you get to splitters, it's. I wish they were like. Wish you could change. You could change the actual design of them. Say, by pressing, you know, tab or something, another key, another key. You could just say. It's sort of hard to explain on the video, but I've seen it done on other games where you can press it and it actually changes its actual construction. So you can have two coming in the back, like Factoria, it comes into out two. Where this, it's sort of a square, so you have to split things off a certain way. Sometimes it can just be a pain. It's really handy though for the belts. I get why they've done it like that, but I'm just saying it'd be awesome if once you have, say, a splitter or a merger out, press tab and cycle through the different construction it is of how you want to run it, how you want the base. So, now the power's back on. I should be able to do the screw. 7 capacity, so let's hold this up. There we go. 160, make it 70. So this one here will be 124 per minute, furnace, and turning in iron rods and screws. Obviously it's not very efficient at all. I've got 120 per minute coming in, this is 30 per minute, and this is 15 per minute. So it's not how you want to run it. But for basic starter game build, this will do. It'll get me what I need to get to base building, put some foundation, set up a base somewhere, do the foundations. Okay, storage containers. So I'll probably do a little setup over here. Just a quick simple setup. Yeah, I'll probably leave some room for more biomass, but I'll probably chill it. So I'll just put a constructor at the back here for each type. Wood and leaves. No cable. Just run over, get some copper wire, hand make some cable for now. Some copper door in here. So instead of having to run back to the hub and back and forth, I normally just make a crafting bench straight where I need it to be. So you can do that with the MAM, the awesome sink. You can just put them down and collect your tickets straight out to buy at the shop if you get anything straight away. Save having to run back and forth to where you have it set up. Obviously if you want to have it set up somewhere, like you can do that, that's fine, of a main area. But then if you're ever on the go and you want to just get it done really quick, you can just build it and then dismantle it. Save, run it back. Alright. So power's out, so we just gotta try and top some of these up. Alright, so I'm gonna have to go and pick some leaves. What I might do is I might zip it forward and until I've got at least power sorted, come back and start base building, getting that sorted. Alright, and we're back. So just a quick recap, went through, got this, it's my favourite tool. Just go through, deforestation, everything. Cut all the trees down, all the shrubs. Get all this automated. I went through and did a few 2 milestones. I did logistics, so I can put these splitters on these factories here, so I can get the biomass automatically fed to solve the bio. That way I could just keep it simple with making power so I can keep moving forward and filming and getting the base going. So the next big step is going to be obviously base building, getting that sorted so I can set up the base. Because I don't like this just sprawled in place like this. I need some organisation. Need to let OCD take over. Make this look a lot prettier. Okay. So Pod is going to return soon. But during that time, as soon as he gets back, set up milestone, base building, let's go and get everything. 200 concrete we have, 100 plate we have, 100 rods. So let's get that. Pick up some plates so I can start building. So deciding where I want to put it. Not sure whether I want to build my base out over this and then build down as well. Just building down, I'd rather have like build up, so I'd always put my furnaces on the bottom or come in the bottom, work up from there. So I guess what I could do is build over here in this forest area. I do like the northern forest, I said that in the first video, episode 1. I just like green, even though I like destroying it with the chainsaw to make power, but this is just a nice area to build. So I thought if I build sort of around here and just clear all these trees out, at least I'd have all my ores coming in from all these natural paths and then working up. I've got sulfur down there. I'm pretty sure up over that hill there's a bunch of coal, potassium. So then I've got the 2 nodes of quartz that way. Got 4 iron here, 2 copper over there. And I know if I run up that pathway over there, just up over that way, there is another area with about 6 nodes of iron, 1 fuck. It's either I build sort of on top here, this way more. Let's show you. Oh, didn't know. Not sure where the other two went. There's a big god. Some other area was going to be up here. See if I can make him run up. Probably get knocked off. So. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, oh. These experimental early access games, love it. I knew I was. You need us. Oh, gee, we need blade runners. You get Caterium, push for blade runners so you can jump a little bit extra. So when old mate comes running at you, you can just jump straight over the top, start bashing him with your Xeno basher. That's just another thing I need. I just need that. It's one of my Xenos. So I thought about putting my base right here, bringing the iron down pane, but I think maybe I save this spot, actual base, when I get maybe the next level of, say, Mark 2 logistics, so I can use reinforced plate, and that'll help bring it down a little bit. It's a cave here. Maybe if I just don't want any spiders. So cellar, try and get some cellar. Cellar's handy for the MAM early game too, to get your research out of the way, get into, say, fibre. It's not really required, it's just sort of what it is to do. Okay. Let's head back. I'm gonna go and maybe just build a base up there. My original spot. Might zip it forward if you guys come back, and I'll have a basic setup. See you soon. Okay, so here's the basic setup that I said I'd build, but took a little longer, and it's a lot bigger than my normal games, and I'll explain why I've gone a lot bigger. Again, this is the first level, so I go up from here. Normally this size, well, up. That'll be next tier items, which is reinforced plating. It'll be quartz as well. I'll refine that up there into its respective refinements. So silica, and I think it's quartz crystal, and also a copper sheeting I'll do up there, and I'll show you later on how I do the layout. So down this end I've got copper ore coming in, gets smelted, and then move straight into copper wire. Okay, and I do per minute setup, so I know that this belt here is bringing in 60 at the moment, ore per minute. Mark 1 miner on a pure node is 120 per minute. The next level of logistics, Mark 2s, are 120 per minute, and then it goes up to 240 per minute. Now, the reason that this is so spread out like this is that I like these walkways, but also so when I do get to Mark 3 logistics, and it's 240 per minute, I can expand these furnaces out, upgrade all my belts, get 240 ingots per minute moving along the line, and then I've worked out how many I need to handle either 120 or 240 per minute ingots to craft what I needed to craft. So here's we have screws. Oh, and yeah, one other thing, I went out and got a few hard drives. Second alternative recipe I got was cast screws. And on my last video, episode 1, I said cast screws is one of the best ones because I don't have to smelt ingots into rods and then into screws. I can just go ingots straight into screws. It's 12.5 per minute ingot. You get 50 per minute screws. So I've pretty much, I haven't got these 3 connected because at the moment I've got only 5, which is 250 screws per minute on a belt that can only handle 60. So I need to upgrade those, but I thought if I got it done now, at least that'll do me for a while, and then when I need to upgrade, I can expand that. That's why I've left so much room here, and I've worked it all out down the line. This is how many I need, and with room for expansion. So again, they can be expanded. Screws, this over here is rods. This can be expanded because it's 15 to 15, 15 ingots, 15 rods. Again, the smelters here, 4 smelters, and that's because these go 30 per minute iron ore into ingots. So 30, 60, 90, 120. See, so as soon as I get Mark II, I upgrade those belts, bringing it in. Again, only when I need it. At the moment, I'm making plenty. So once I go upgrade to the next level, and I want to start doing reinforced plating, frames, you know, rotors, all those, I have the ability down here to upgrade to meet their per minute. This one's cable, again, worked it all out, set up 15 copper ingot to 30 wire, okay? And then I've worked out from there. So I'm bringing in 120 ingots, which on 4 smelters, which means 8 constructors will consume 120 ingots per minute, giving me, what's 30? Anyway, it's about 120. It's 240. And I'll put those down into here. So these are 60 per minute, creating 30 cable, 60, 120, 180, 240. Is 4. Again, this is for a 240 per minute setup, and I'm running it on belts that are 60 per minute. Sorry, 60 per minute. I'm right, that's right. So I need the logistics upgrades, and that is also the next milestone. So this base is the largest I've done compared to my last games. Normally it's half this size, and then I always have to expand or have to make it elsewhere and bring it in and merge it on the belt later on, like if I do a sort of bus setup. But I'm going to try and avoid that this time around. Not totally avoid it, obviously I'll have to do it at some points, just to help ease that off, where I'm having belts coming in all directions, bringing in rods or screws or reinforced plating, rotors, and making them off by side, bringing them all in separately. So I also got tokens from the sink over there. I'm just sinking items, excess items. Got my concrete. If you've watched my last video, you know that I like my concrete, so I go 4 high. So zoop 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Okay, now I like having windows, so normally I go 2 windows. Okay, and then a wall. Now it kind of looks structural having the walls come down, but then also like big windows. That's just how I like having my base. But obviously this game could have a base floating in mid-air. I'm not really into that. Like, I like things looking like they're supported structurally. It's just something you can do in the game yourself, something you can do you don't have to do if you want a base floating in midair and you don't care about making it look like it's meant to be support. That's totally up to you. That's just how I like to play the game. You know. 4 high, I've noticed, is a very comfortable height. 3 high you can do it, but if you have belts on the bottom and on the ceiling, and I'll show you in a later video what I mean with belts on the ceiling. So instead of running a main bus lengthways, I sort of run multiple buses vertically, and I'll build the item that's required fairly central to what's going up. That makes sense. So let's say if I'm making reinforced plating, I will send screws and plate, screws and plate. I'll normally try and set up, say, I'll set up these sort of, how I've done this, little areas. This is purely for iron plate, this area. So I know that this splitter here, I'll run a, when this belt's gone I'll get rid of that, but run a conveyor lift up here, and a conveyor lift where screws is, which I said. So I know that this is central where I want to be building the plate. But again, I'll want to work out my walkways upstairs when I get there. Work all that out. And I do that once I'm out. Normally I like to just keep going base down here, do the floors up there, get my ramps going up, making it look like this level's finished in a way. Like, still add a lot of it to me, then I know that I don't really have to come back cosmetically, go through and add walls in. I can just sort of do this and have them here and they're done. But not completely done. Like here I like to do concrete walls like this. Makes it look like, I don't know, just looks nice. And I have this walkway going all the way around the base, so I don't ever put my constructors hard against the external walls. I like having these walkways going around. There's some more that way, you know, it just makes it seem much more tidier, like, to me, and that's how I like to play. There's plenty of room in the game, and you can build your base as big as you want. Again, it's all personal preference, just this is how I like to run it. And also, I like using the steel, like, on the inside of the factory. Because once I change my colour, and that's another thing I'll do, is everything just blends. You know, your splitters, your mergers, your constructors, your walls, everything just works well with your colour scheme. Concrete all externally, all these pathways I pick up, turn them all into concrete, and then leave these ones steel. I think because it's my basic build, I don't want to pull it all apart. But I also don't want to cool. What did I want? This doesn't get that. No, it doesn't. I think let's do that instead. Okay, and we'll build it sort of into the mountainside, so from underneath it kind of looks supported. I'd like to get the architectural concrete pillars, and I go through and place them in segments downstairs so it looks like the base was built on top of concrete pillars, like. Because down here at the moment, as you can see, it looks like it's just a big floating metal space, and it is built on top of this foundation here, over to that foundation, so that is fine, but I want a couple in the middle, especially down the end where it's just floating out in midair. As you can see, a lot of you probably will hate it, but clipping through the floor, I'm not a fan of it, but I thought for early game, just get it in there, and then I like to go through and either do the floor holes for the belts that you can buy through the awesome store. But I also don't mind doing this. It's just a hole in the floor, outlined with steel wool, and I run them straight up through the hole. I feel like it looks a lot more realistic, but at the same time, like this whole thing's just floating midair, unsupported. So what's realistic about that if I want this to look realistic? But it's something I can all fix later. And the clipping, yeah, I don't, I don't like it. A lot of people don't mind, and then a lot of people do mind. It's never like whatever. It's always someone wants it this way, wants it that way. But for now, I'll just leave it and yeah. So yeah, if you remember, this was downstairs where I had the original base, and now we've moved it up. And underneath here is a little solid biofuel automation. So I chuck my leaves in, chuck the wood in, converts it all into solid biofuel. I can run up and yeah, chuck it up there. So I usually have this main ramp coming up, comes up, there's my hub, equipment workshop, there's the awesome store, and then the MAM's right here. The MAM's really good. I never really understood it when I first played. No one ever does. No one really understands the game, but as you play it more, you get used to it. You got to do it. Like, you think, oh, how can you ever have excess resources? Like, I like things backing up. Like, I like things. Me personally, I like things backing up. But like, you just got to get the store, because the amount of stuff you can get in that game, get in the store, is awesome. Like, this is what I call it, awesome thing. But it's architectural stuff. It's customization. You get the concrete walls here. I actually like the concrete walls clipping through the ground like this. You know, it makes it look like you've formed it up and you've poured the concrete right there. You know, right against the foundations. And it, you know, some people think it looks unrealistic, but when you're driving down a motorway and they're doing the walls of the motorway, and you see where they've just cast the concrete sides just straight into the ground. You know, it's fine. To me, it's fine. If I was doing steel though, that would look a bit more clipped through, because steel, you can't really pour that in place. You know, concrete, you can warm it up, pour it in place. Actually, I'll start my windows from the sound, or window spaces, so I can work out what it is by the time I come down. Okay, cut this tree down so it's not clipping through my walls. Again, not a big issue. So I'll just finish this side off, and then I'll explain color schemes. And if you don't have anything in the hotbar set, and you're in construction window, instead of keep going back to the menu, picking what you want. If you're building, right click, or have your destructor tool out, just middle mouse button the item. There's your wall. You're looking at this, middle mouse button. There's your wall. Wall foundations, middle mouse button, there it is. Look at that over there, yep, there's my wall. Instead of having to go back and forth, again, those are things I was doing in my first game, and a friend of mine showed me that trick. And I was just like, oh yeah, I knew that already. But I didn't know anything. But nah, he knew. With color schemes, if press X, brings it up. This is your customizer. Okay, and yeah, you can just click it down here. Can you click it? No, just press X. Opens your customizer. Another way you can get in there, I think, is yeah, That's it. I've just learned something. Click no filter brings up both. Sometimes I like using both. And I've changed in between these, but you click no filter. Oh, there you go. Little tip for myself today. But with color scheme, press X, I like to change my colors to factory swatch here. That's your main. So this one I like to go a nice grey. And up here I go like a light blue. I know they look pretty similar, but I like it. There we go. Oh, probably a bit too blue, so I'm just gonna change the blue down, maybe change the grey a bit darker. It's purple, isn't it? This one's too. So yeah, you can go through, you can load presets. I don't know if you can get any online, but you can use these numbers here to copy and paste into other swatches. So if you wanted to change your foundation one in here, you can copy the numbers over. Let's try and just get... Oh, that's a bit grey. This one can be blue. Okay. I'm happy with that, I like blue. Even white, blue or white. Whenever I played Supreme Commander back in the day, I'd always go white or blue, or like a grey, just so they're my favourite colours. Grey, concrete. If any of you, yeah, what I was saying last game, all that. So yeah, normally I just go around the entire base, build my walls up while everything's building, constructing for my basic, especially storage. You know, just real quickly, I'm gonna go on with this one. Right, the storage in the game. Coffee Stain Studios, if you ever watch this video, can you build, this is a 20-foot container, right? Can you build a 10-foot container? Like, they exist in the real world, right? Like, these are good for big storage, but I've never, well, sorry, I like solid biofuel. I like to have a full storage of solid biofuel. Okay, but copper wire, man, like I can't even remember what that, like, work that out real quick. It's 500 times 24 spaces. When do I need 12,000 copper wire on me? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 threes, 24. Right? That's right. So when am I ever going to need that much copper on me? Right? Everything's automated, so I just send this on a belt up to where it needs to go. I don't need to go and put it in anywhere. But I also like to have it on storage so I can get, say, 1,000, maybe 1,500. I know one of the space elevator milestones is close to 50, I think it is 1,500 copper wire from memory, which is fair. That's 3 spaces though, not 24. It's probably one of my pet hates in the game so far, is if in update 6 or update 7, when you release update 6 or when you bring an experimental for update 7, you please put maybe a 10-foot container. It's half the size in half the amount of space. So instead of 24, just have 12 spaces. And that would save, like, obviously resources is pretty much, is unlimited, right? You can keep making, but like, I'm not going to need that much cable on me at any time. I don't, you know, maybe 2,000, you know, maybe 1,000 cable if I'm doing big projects, especially once I unlock more space in inventory. But yeah. Anyways, I just hope maybe one day they just bring a 10-foot container. Not only would it save space, it would also save a lot of time in items backing up. Like plate, like 24 spaces of plate. Like, like, this is a lot of plate, you know, and that's just for me to use. Like, I only use storage to store. I don't ever really make a buffer system. Like, I use the line itself as the buffer. So if it backs up on the line, then I know we're okay. If it's not backing up on the line, then I know that I need to optimize it, you know? Like, I'm not sure if anyone else has the same sort of gripe, but that's mine. Yeah. Anyways, go back to getting this base sorted, eh? So I like to do all my basics. So on the one level, screws, iron rod, iron plate, concrete, cable. You could, if you want to go bigger and do quartz on your first level, you can totally, like. But I like to just put that above my concrete. Because concrete you're never really gonna expand that upwards, you know, you can just put quartz requirement straight on top of concrete on the next level. They'll both have enough, you know what I mean? So, and I'll show you that in episode 3. But this, as I was saying earlier, this is the biggest first level of my base I've ever done. Because normally it's half the size. Oh, my first game, I think I had like 2 iron plate constructors and was like, yeah, that'll be fine for a while. An hour, probably, or 2 hours later, I was like, oh, I don't have enough. That's just classic. Like I've played Factorio. I've won, like not won, finished Factorio multiple times, and I should have known from those games that I'm going to need a lot of the base material, but I just didn't realize. Also, I have built this wall where I don't want the walls. This, what do you call that? I can't remember. Anyways, the little ship that flies up to deliver resources via milestones, right? I like to not have that clipping through the floor. So what I could do is I could build this, say, around it, and that might not look too bad. Give it a go, why not? You know? See what it looks like, you know, and have it fly up through the base. Just like that. And we'll see how it goes on the next level. If it doesn't work, we'll just pull it apart. But I'm just about out of concrete. Lucky. Anyways, I'm wasting time here. I'm only doing little sections. Best thing to do is go 10, right? You just look out there, chuck 10 straight down. Put them in. Alright, grab it all. Might go and fix this up. Alright, there's one over there, a whole line coming in, not even being used. That's a waste. Should just go through, fix all this, finish this floor, so I can get reinforced plating happening. And get that logistics mark II. As a Anyway, what I might do is end the episode here. Okay, and when I come back with episode 3, I'll have this floor finished. Concrete I'll sort out, and I'll have spaces upstairs set out. And then I'll go through and I might record me setting those out and showing you how I run my verticals up and run them along the actual underside of the flooring. So I actually have my belts. I have these run up underside of the floor and run over to where they need to go up through to my next factories, next constructors or assemblers. So, and I'll show. I might unlock Logistics Mark II just so I can build the assemblers. I have to go through and unlock a couple items. Just fine, like I can do that. I just have to hand make the reinforced plating or maybe go find some hard drives. Okay. Oh, and real quickly, sorry, on the map here, see I put these pod icons down. Again, you just use your map marker, click them in, label what it is, and I'll put these down afterwards and I'll explain shortly. Those stamps, this one here says crash. Okay, it's called crash. Okay, I just put that down and then I don't worry about a colour and then I just go apply. Okay, but I'll cancel that. Oh, sorry. Now the reason I name it like that is right is I mark them that is you can put 10 times gunpowder, so I know that this crash over here I haven't got this one right. So I haven't got this one yet. Haven't got this one yet. That's 7 steel pipe. I did get this pod. So if I am on the map and I go, oh, pod's over there, and I've totally forgotten about it, I can look at my map and say, I've already got it. Cool. These ones don't have them. If I need hard drives and I have 10 gunpowder, and go, oh, I'm going to get those hard drives. Okay? That's just how I like to set up my map. I also mark resources. I haven't done any resources yet, but I will. And I just mark them out by, again, just go through, label them. You can do these quick stamps here. Okay, this one here I think is minerals, or you can just put it down, bang, it's there. Ooh. I'm not a big fan of doing this because it doesn't label exactly what it is. Or if you were to click on this, put in, say, iron node, or 3 times pure. Select icon, stamps, select this one, rock. I like the rock one. Select image, and then you can select your colour. So iron ore is blue, so I'll lighten this colour up, change that, bang, apply. So I know then that there's iron ore here. Well, obviously there's not iron ore here on the map, but if I come across a node and I want to mark it, I can just go like that, iron node, 3 times pure, and I know that that information is readily available. Okay, cool. Anyways, sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. So, yeah, I'll see you on the next episode. Thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment, like the movie, subscribe, and I'll bring out more videos. And thanks very much.